Will the Astros face the Tigers and the presumptive early favorite for American League Cy Young and Mr. Scooble on the other side of the diamond? What will they do? What did Dana Brown say this morning in a special Friday morning edition of Locked on Astros? Let's get started right now.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked on Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Astros. Find the show at Locked on Astros, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go and make us your first listen and become an everydayer. Somebody listens to our podcast, well, every day. And go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube and go and check us out there as well. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. So, Brett, when you're not having internet issues, where can they find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Facebook and on X. They can also find me at Back to the Bullpen on X and on Instagram. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. I'm positive that what I just listened to from the Astros GM, I'm not buying half of what he said. I understand he can't say what he's really thinking, but I think I read between the lines. And Mr. Guillermo starting out the day say, call me crazy, Mr. Brett, but I think we're sweeping the Tigers. I don't know if I think you need to put an L in there, sleeping with, look, I don't think we're going to be sweeping anybody right now. We can't even sweep a bad team. We may be sleeping when we play the Tigers, but if we sweep the Tigers, then you know what? I'll give you your flowers on that. But Eric, I'm a little concerned about this Detroit Tigers series. I'm a little concerned about June, July, and August, and I'm excited to talk about what Mr. Dana Brown said this morning.
Well, I apologize. I forgot one more sponsor. This episode is brought to you by the word grit. This is a word that Dana Brown brought up like 3 or 4 times. This team has grit. This team has gone to 7 straight ALCSs. This team has done it before. Just check the back of their baseball cards. They have done it. They have their experience, and this team can do it. And Dana Brown has basically put a stamp on it. He has said the next 27 days before the All-Star break is when they're going to get hot. They're going to get to 500. Then they're going to get to a position where they're going to decide whether or not they're going to be buyers or sellers. But he thinks that this rotation is too good. He says this rotation has carried the Astros team all year. And it's just like, you know how when you ask your mom, Mom, am I handsome? Your mom's always going to say, yes. Mom, am I pretty? If you're a girl, yes. Oh. Your mom always says something, has to say nice things, unless you have one of those moms that is brutally honest. This is who Dana Brown is. Dana Brown is going to put the rose-colored glasses on and say, yes, everything is flowers. Everything looks great for the Houston Astros. Yeah. And grit, that is relentless.
Yeah, grit, that is relentless. That's why I put that on the screen. Hashtag grit, that is hashtag relentless. I've got a couple of things that he said. When asked about Jose Abreu, he was asked, what's going on with Abreu? How can you justify playing him there every day? He's like, we've been giving Abreu time to put things together. Let's evaluate it. And at some point soon, we're up against time and we need to get things moving. This is my translation. He sucks. We know it. We just can't look that bad cutting him, and or because our interim GM made a huge mistake getting us to pay him that much. There was a lot of like tiptoeing around, like he answered the questions, but it was a lot of nothingness.
Right.
Sean, I think they're the best duo on the radio to do this show, because Sean literally asked him do you think y'all can play 635 ball to get to 90 wins? Is your club a club that can do that? And he's like, yeah, we can do it. Now, if our
rotation,
he goes, we got the rotation. Now, if our pin is leaking oil, then we have a problem. But yeah, it's doable. Well, I mean, yeah, it's doable. It's possible, but does it mean it's probable? No. Look, I'm the always positive, always Stros guy. Anytime I level any kind of criticism, even if it's a level-headed criticism, I always get I thought you were the always positive guy. And I'm like, that doesn't mean I'm unrealistic. I think I've done better reeling in my homerness at times. I'm still dying the wool, Houston Astros. I root for whoever's playing, whoever's playing the Yankees and the Astros kind of thing. But dude, what I heard this morning it sounded to me a lot like, yeah, they're a little worried over there on LaBranch or McKinney or whatever road they're on, Crawford Street. I mean, they're a little worried about that.
This is what he went on to say, that we're having conversations about Jose Abreu. We know he's struggling. There's a human element that people don't realize. At some point, as Joe mentioned, there's a timeline. We'll do what's best for a team. We're consistently having conversations about making a tough decision. So at some point, they're either going to have to make the decision to go all to John Singleton. I think even at the end, you heard Sean mention, well, what about Joey Loperfido? Are you ever going to play him at first base? Is this an option? And Dana Brown basically tiptoed around him. Well, we haven't played him at the major league level yet. We're going to play him a little bit at the first base at the minor league level, but he's going to be part of the plan. And then he did a Freudian slip and said right field. We're going to play him a lot in right field. And then he quickly corrected himself and said, no, I mean left field. So hopefully that was not a premonition for anything that he had planned.
Wow. I didn't read that into it, man. Well, Eric was going deep dive into like Kyle Tucker conspiracies because I was squarely focused on Loperfido, the thing is though, why not? I mean, that is the real question. You have a guy that is he's not a historically good defensive first baseman. Now, to his credit, he has made a couple really good grabs on the
Astros feel like he is a good defender at first base, though. That's what Chandler Rome says. He is a better defender than John Singleton. That's what Chandler Rome has said multiple times.
No, he's not.
That's what the Astros feel. Brett, that's what the Houston Astros feel.
But feeling is different than reality, okay? I mean, ask what feeling when they're tripping on acid or on some drug. Feeling and reality are two different things. And I wonder what the Astros are tripping on right now. Because before they sent his tail to Florida, to the Florida Complex League, his defense sucked. It was at an all-time sucking low. It was bad. And then what happened? John Singleton came in. What did he do? He made a difference defensively. Now, Singleton's not your all-star first baseman, but he's better than Abreu. And you know what? I've seen Joey Loperfido at first base. I put video evidence on our channel. I've seen it in person. I've seen him in warm-up. I've seen him take reps. Joey Loperfido fits the bill. Why not? Why wouldn't you put him out there? His bat is better. His glove is better. And you know what? You don't have to just play him at first base. So you can platoon him and John Singleton. Cut your dead weight in Abreu. I'm sorry. The Abreu thing and yes, the human element. Dana Brown, bless your heart. You said, well, there's a human element here. We all know that. That's why I think a lot of people have been willing to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Hey, he's coming back from the Florida Complex League. He's hitting better, apparently. Maybe, I don't know. Then goes to AAA and goes 0 for 7. Oh, he's ready. What are we doing here? I think Crane is too hands-on. I'm going all the way back to Lunau. I think Lunau creates this horrible thing that we have attached to us called a scandal. I think he does things that are sinister and did things to wreck this ball club. And because of that, I think Jim Crane is turning into almost a Jerry Jones type owner where his hands are in everything. And what happens when an owner gets his hands in too much, they overcompensate. And I think Jim Crane's intentions are good. I think Jim Crane still believes that this window is open. But if he today feels the exact same way on June 14th that he felt on January 14th, then something is missing here. Then something is missing, and it's not necessarily Dana Brown. It's the owner not letting, because apparently Dana Brown doesn't really have, like, I don't think Dana Brown or Espada have control over who's out on the field. I think it's from up top.
Yeah.
And which,
and it's not just Jim Crane. It's not just his assistant GMs. I'm talking about Jeff Bagwell and Reggie Jackson, but it's also the analytics group. It's the people that make the decisions about these guys should start in this game. So there are a whole bunch of people that pull the puppet strings, so to speak, about who starts and who goes up and who goes down and all that. So we'll go and continue discussion in a second. And thank you for listening to Locked On Astros podcast.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at taxnetworkusa.com. Go to tnusa.com and check out what they have. Look, we know that we are on all season long, whether it's the postseason, off season, spring training, doesn't matter. But you know what else is year round? That's collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. The licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA, let them go to bat for you. Look, I know with my self-employed status, with my contractor status and my freelance work and my job as a teacher, I've got all these issues. So why wouldn't I go to someone with over 14 years experience in the A+ rating of the Better Business Bureau? Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters, or you just won that parlay and you need to help filing it correctly, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. See the link in the episode description below.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, go ahead and make us part of your daily routine. Go and subscribe to us. Go and check us out on your Amazon Fire TV stick. All you have to do is just go ahead and find the free channels app and go ahead and search baseball, Astros, and you'll go and find us. You can also find Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros postcast as well. And you can go ahead and find all the Astros talk you want, as long as Locked On Sports Today with all the sports news you need to know across baseball. And so I know a lot of people are talking about the Houston Astros and whether they're going to be buyers, sellers at the trade deadline. I don't know if anybody really knows at this point what they're going to do. I know you heard that I believe it was Buster Olney say that the Astros are probably going to stay pat. I heard that Keith Law on 97.5 the other day said that the Astros, there's a lot of people across baseball saying that they're confirming that most of the decision making is not happening with the GM of the Houston Astros, but it does go it goes with the decision committee of Jeff Bagwell, Reggie Jackson, and a few other people. So that is something to take in consideration. So I know that Dana Brown is kind of the face piece of this, and he is the one that's going out on the sports talk radio and making all the comments. He's the one that's saying we have the next 27 days to make a decision on what we're going to do. He feels like he's always out to go get another pitcher. And if there's a bat available that makes sense for me, we'll entertain it. But he was talking about it depends on, is it a long-term bat? Is it a short-term bat? We don't have a lot of prospects to give up, and how much would it cost? A name I saw that I think it was article I read, I think it was Chandler Rome's article, but he mentioned the idea at the very end about possibly Pete Alonso. This is a rental bat. This is a guy that the Astros probably would have to give up a lot, but not as much as if he had controllability beyond this year. But this is a guy that I think could bring that instant impact. If you're looking at everybody out there, he could bring a new life to this team, especially with his ability to hit home runs at Minute Park. I think that if you're gonna put all your eggs in one basket, I think it would have to be Pete Alonso. I think the rotation is good enough. It's not great. It's good enough to get the job done. The bullpen can be good enough. Now the offense is where they've been missing. Yes, the bullpen has had issues, but they're actually middle of the pack. Surprisingly enough, they've actually come up a little bit. I know we talk about Ryan Presley, we talk about Rafael Montero, we talk about all these issues, but those are outliers. Yes, Presley has not been his great self this year, but the offense has not been consistent. We've had hot and cold streaks from Yordan Alvarez. We've had very cold streaks from Bregman, who's getting hot now. And then we have Tucker, who's been consistent all year. Now he's out. And Jeremy Pena has been pretty consistent.
Right.
And so you need another bat. And the weakest position is probably at first base.
Yeah, it's at first base, but are they going to, I mean, look, I don't know, man. I'm just so frustrated with where this team could have been and could be had they made better decisions in the offseason. If they didn't have a GM by committee decision where they basically neuter Dana Brown in his decision making or whatever he's doing. I mean, look, Dana Brown's made some decent moves. There are some people that are here because of Dana Brown, so he hasn't been a total zero at his job. And I respect the man highly with his tenure in Major League Baseball, his track record in scouting. Look, and Pete Alonso, I would be one of the first people that would go buy a Pete Alonso Astros jersey just to have it because he's my favorite non-Astro out there. But at the same time, I just don't know if Pete comes here, he's either going to strike out or hit a home run. He's not there for a defensive. He's not a good first baseman defensively. He is only a bat. And I'm not willing. Is Pete Alonso going to be the difference in going to the World Series or not? I don't think so. What you have to ask yourself is, do these players make us considerably better? And if you can't get that, then just freaking cut ties with Abreu and put Loperfido at first. It's not hard. We're making this out to be some simple, like, let's go get a big name. Let's go get Crochet, which we're not going to get. Let's go get a couple pitchers. Let's go get Pete. Let's go get these guys to come in and fill our clubhouse with excitement. And I mean, that's what everybody's saying. And know it's not going to be the difference. This team has the inability to win in one-run games. This team has the inability to sweep the Oakland A's or the Angels. They have the inability to win games that they're supposed to win. And I don't think one or two players, I don't know. And if at the All-Star break, they're 10 games under, if at the trade deadline, they're 10 games under, then you know what? You might as well look and see if Alex Bregman can find another home and you can get some prospects back.
Right.
You might as well start kind of deconstructing some things here or there, because I've looked at the numbers, and there's a guy I'll bring up later on because I don't have his exact on Twitter, but he broke down the money situation. There's plenty of money to sign Tucker. You get your goal to at least finish the season and act like you're fighting for a wild card, which if you got to get to 90 wins, I'm sorry, you're not getting the wild card. The only way this team is winning is if they somehow can supplant themselves in front of the Mariners. And the Mariners they're playing good baseball. Why? Their offense sucks, but their pitchers are amazing. And we saw with the 05 Astros that got swept by the White Sox. Their offense was dog water, the worst that ever qualified for a World Series to date.
Right.
But yet their pitching was stellar. So pitching does win championships, but if you can't score 2 or 3 runs in a game, or you got to wait till your power hitter golfs a changeup well out of the zone from Logan Webb, and that's all you're getting, or a pull home run into the drink from John Singleton. Yeah, our team's good enough. Thanks, Dana. Thanks for the pep talk. We know we're good enough, but you can be good enough on paper, but if you don't produce the goods, I don't care how good you tell me you are. You can come to the ball field with the coolest bat, the best glove, the shiniest uniform, the coolest resume, and get beat by nobodies. We've done it. We've been doing it all year. Are we buyers or sellers? I have no flipping clue what we are right now.
Yeah, well, go ahead and continue this conversation in a second. It's frustrating, but Dana Brown did say if there are 8 games down at the trade deadline, at the All-Star break, that's when he would be a little bit more worried. So he thinks that they're going to be doing a little bit better by then. So we'll continue this conversation.
Hey, this episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime is America's #1 place to go for your tickets. Download the Gametime app today and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Look, I'm telling you right now, when I go watch the Dodgers and Astros play later on this summer, I'm going to use Gametime. I'm not even going to buy tickets now. Why would I do that? I'm going to wait till right before the game to buy the tickets. Yeah, there may be fewer tickets, but I guarantee the prices are going to be there, and I don't have to worry because it's all-in-one pricing. Keeps me on top of things. They'll have flash deals. Days on deals right now. I'm just going to hold out a little bit longer. They're easy to find. You basically 2 clicks purchase them. They are in your phone. You have to rummage through your email, junk mail, or anything like that. You get seat views, and you have coverage for the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. If you find a seat in the same row and same section, you will get 110% the difference, and that money is back into your account for Gametime. And you know what? That means you have more money to buy. And it's not just baseball games. It's football. It's comedy shows. It's theater. It's whatever is in your area. And it's Houston. It's all over the U.S. You're traveling to see the Astros on the road. Check out games. They probably have you covered. So the Gametime, to create the account. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. That's right. Create an account. Redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and check out Michael Connor on the Locked On Astros podcast as well. And go and check everything out on your Amazon Fire TV stick. And go and watch us on your big screen TV, and go and check out all your Astros game on your Sirius XM. Just go ahead and search Astros, and you can go and find all the play-by-play action if you're on the road and you can't listen to it on your radio. So let's go ahead and continue this conversation. I do want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Astros. The Astros do have some money to spend. In a way, they're already over the first luxury tax threshold. Technically, if you look at the COTS, they are about $4 million away from going over the next threshold. So the question is, at the All-Star break, or if you're talking about the trade deadline, what are they going to want to pay, like the luxury tax, if they are having a losing record? If they're going to be a bad team, are they going to want to pay for the taxes? Because they're going to have to pay a lot of money. So Jim Crane and Dana Brown and his and all the people that make the decision, because it's not just Dana Brown, they're going to have to make a decision at some point. Do we want to go ahead and bite the bullet and just pay the taxes, have the go and lose a international draft pick? I believe that's another penalty. But will they do that, or will they go ahead and just go ahead and trade some players? One of the players that likely will trade is Ryan Presley. Ryan Presley I know that he's had a bad year, but same point, he is a tradable asset. He can go to a team and probably do a lot better. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. If you look at what he's doing this year, it compares a lot to what he did last year. His stuff is the same. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. He's not executing his pitches the same as he did last year. He's had some unfortunate balls and luck play, and that's what Josh Miller said. Apparently, he's allowing a 4.11 average on balls in play against him. That's the highest mark for any pitchers with at least 20 innings in the majors this season. The league average on balls in play is 286. So there's 5 qualified pitchers that have a FIP that's under Presley's, which is 2.48. And so he has a better FIP. So FIP is it's kind of measures what his the stats that he can control. So his FIP is 2.48. It's half of his actual ERA, which is about 4 something. So it's just been a lot of bad luck this year, Presley said, but you can't just blame it all on that. He can't put people away. He's allowed a lot of he gets to strike 2 counts, and then he strike 2 counts. In the past, I believe he's allowed a 153 career average. 153, but this year it's 283. And then when he's ahead, it's 185 in his career, but this year it's 340 batting average. So he's just not able to finish the batters this year. So there's something wrong, and it's got to be something mental. And so there's something, whether it's be the 9th inning, something like that, there's something wrong with Ryan Presley this year. And I think it has something to do with the whole, I was the closer, I was America's closer, I won a World Series for you. And then you go on there. And Joe Espada said, I'm going to lean on him. He's one of the big forces in back of our bullpen. He showed again Tuesday when he can go out there and shut the door. Like, the bullpen has been better than we give him credit for. We just see these individual. We saw how bad they started the season, and we saw it a whole bunch of things recently where Montero gives up a lead. But if the offense would just be a little bit more consistent, but it's not going to happen until you get your MVP back in Kyle Tucker, and Kyle Tucker still has not resumed baseball activity. So we'll see what happens. I know that a lot of people are hoping that Kyle Tucker gets back, but Dana Brown doesn't see things just falling apart for the Houston Astros. I don't know. Where are y'all at? He says, I don't foresee things falling apart. I really don't. Ultimately, we have some guys that can get things going, get things done. We're going to turn it around. So the Astros are going to play some teams that are below 500 over the next week or so. They've got to take care of business. And the Tigers, they have potential to be a good team. They were playing above 500 ball to start the season. They're kind of slipped a little bit. That's what happens with the young team. The Astros started off sucky. Now they're playing a little bit better. So now the Astros got to get past Screwball. Once they get past him, they can go ahead and do a little bit better. So I just don't know what to expect from them anymore. Like Dana Brown even said it. He says the rotation looks good, then the bullpen falls apart. The bullpen looks good, then the rotation falls apart. You have Framber Valdez only lasts 4 innings. So the team, a championship team, when some element of your team does not do well, another element picks up. If your starting pitcher struggles and only goes 2 innings, gives up 5 runs, the offense has to come up and score 6 runs. Now, can they do that every day? No. Realistically, they cannot do that. But they've just got to do that. Seth Martinez, Taylor Scott. There has been some, like even Sean Dubin. There's been some unsung heroes this year. And now you got to hope that you've got Spencer Arrighetti. He's been rounding to form. Hunter Brown, after his disastrous start, he looks like the guy that you expected. The Rangers, forget the Mariners right now. You've got to overtake the Rangers. Focus on the Rangers right now. Overtake the Rangers. Put some distance between them. And then, like Dana Brown said, he said that he's seen leads in September crumble. 7-game leads in the division crumble. He's not worried about it. So do the Astros have a chance? Mathematically, sure. But they got to play better baseball. This crap we've been seeing recently has not been good. Like you got to take advantage when the Giants make errors, like mental errors, where the runner doesn't even try to score at home and you could get the extra out. And there's just, you've got to capitalize on things. And Frommer, I see that some people are talking about Frommer, but I know that there's a lot of things going on with this team. I think over the next 27 days, we'll see who the Houston Astros really are. You got some good pitchers going for the Astros in this series. And so we'll see what happens. And Brett's here to kind of close this out.
Sorry, man. And I don't even know if it's better. I mean, I tried restarting my internet. Thank you. I'm gonna say Xfinity bad on you. They just upgraded my system and now it's worse. So that's okay. It looks like I'll be making a switch to Frontier soon.
Any closing thoughts, Brett?
Any closing thoughts? Got to tame the Tigers. Yeah, you know, we just got to make sure that at the end of the day that this team is firing on all cylinders, like Dana said. I don't have hope for Abreu coming out of his slump. We got to hope and pray that the Mariners start sucking pretty soon. I'm not worried about the Rangers. They're a 500 ball club. The Mariners are absolutely taking control, and they may actually come out this division smelling like roses. So let's hope that look, I'll be there tonight. My son and I will be in 245, 250 something. Basically, mezzanine level will be all the way right over the bullpen first row. So check us out. My son and I will be there celebrating Father's Day. So thank y'all. Thanks for being patient with us. I appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, that's all we got for this edition of Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast. We are here for you every day, tech issues or not. We will be here. Be patient with the Astros. We'll be patient with you. And thank you for listening. And go Astros.
Go Astros.